Hello everyone, welcome back to another 2v2 Warhammer battle. This is going to be double Chaos versus double Empire. For my build here, over here on the flanks, we have two Chaos Knights, Chaos Sorcerer of Death with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. We do have a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and then two Chaos Puppies. The main line is going to be made up of four Forsaken, one Chaos Halberd with Prince Sigvald buried in the middle, and then a Chaos Marauder. My ally has a front line of Chaos Warriors with two Aspiring Champions. They brought Kolek Sun Eater, Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and a Giant. They also have two Marauder Horsemasters and then two Chaos Warhounds. This player that they're going to be facing off has a infantry heavy build here with double Demigryph Knights with halberds over there, and then they have multiple lines of infantry. These are mostly spears and swordsmen, two handgunners. They have two great swords and two halberds being led by Karl Franz. Actually, their builds are kind of similar because this person also brought double great swords, double halberds, and double swordsmen with two handgunners, also being led by Karl Franz. But they have a Jade Wizard, and then the Zentler's Reichsguard and the Demigryph Knights, the Royal Altdorf Griffites. But like their infantry lines are kind of almost mirrored, I guess, a little bit. But anyway, the battle is going to start out here. The Marauder Horsemasters are going to start doing some good damage against these Demigryph Knights because they do not have shields, and they will take a pretty good amount of damage from a double Horsemaster. Meanwhile, I am going to try and shift my army over, and I want to try and get the enemy to just dislodge from their position. The enemy, the way they set up, they want me to just charge head forward so they can just shoot their guns, and I'm like, no, you're going to have to work for these bullets. So we're going to move around here like bloop, 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 and we want to try and hit the left flank, and meanwhile I'm putting pressure, because in the beginning of the fight, I couldn't see these guys or these guys, but seeing what army they had, I was like, they have something in these trees. So that's why we have the Chaos Puppies coming over here, and we're going to flush them out. And now I'm going to go little bloops, just bloop, 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 with the little Chaos Puppies, and we're going to try and tie down the Royal Altdorf Griffites because they're separated. My Chaos Sorcerer of Death with Fate of Buna, double Chaos Knights, and Dragon Ogre are nearby. We're just going to go bloop, 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 and we're going to try and cut these dudes off from the rest of their army. Meanwhile, position my infantry to go like this. My ally, you see, doing some good damage again to the Demigryph Knights, and they're going to be engaging here a little bit later after we do. So I'm going to run in my Chaos Puppies right there. You see Karl Franz coming over. I am not scared of just a single Karl Franz. I'm going to also detach them Forsaken over here eventually too. So we're just keeping them in position, and then we're going to, I think, delay the Zentler's Reichsguard with these guys. But we're going to run the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. We're going to run some Knights over here, and we're going to do a Fate of Buna on these Demigryph Knights to try and focus them down. Again, I'm also going to be detaching the double Forsaken units. Karl Franz is going to land down here to try and kill some Chaos Knights. I'm going to instead run them over to the Swordsmen and try and hold them in place. Zentler's Reichsguard are going to charge us, so we're going to charge behind them, and I'm just more focused about these guys. Chaos Puppies will come back. We're doing a lot of good damage with the Fate of Buna, the Chaos Sorcerer, and the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. I'm then going to detach these Chaos Knights because we just see numbers over here, especially since Karl Franz is coming back to try and just focus damage. So we're going to be like, bloop, 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 bloop. And we're going to get over here and try and help the Dragon Ogre and the Chaos Sorcerer. Meanwhile, the Zentler's Reichsguard are just going to kind of pull through and try and get into these Forsaken, which I'm going to attack double. We're going to get Prince Sigvald over here, and then everything else is going to go over here against these handgunners who are trying to approach us and to get some shots on. The rest of their army just kind of staying out there, not doing much. And again, we're focusing on these guys. Enemy army for my ally is about to engage here. They're going to engage on top of this hill, as I am still just focusing down these Royal Altdorf Griffites. So now you can see we almost got them totally killed, and now we are focusing on Karl Franz, who have now Spirit Leeched, and we have a lot of units around him to try and finish him off. Ran some Chaos Puppies over here to disrupt these handgunners. These handgunners are getting into position to fire, so we're going to charge them with these double Forsaken. We're going to charge these Chaos Marauders over here and flank these handgunners there. Taking out the Zentler's Reichsguard with the double Forsaken, Prince Sigvald, and these Chaos Knights who are running away from the halberds, as we are killing off their leadership. And there we go, my allies' army is now going to engage against the enemy. These guys are going to go around and start throwing javelins into these handgunners. The Chaos Puppies are going to just hold these Demigryph Knights from the main line for a long time. And the allies' army here is going to do a lot of damage to the enemy's front line here, especially the center, because that's where all their monstrous creatures are. Now, in this situation, because you're about to see if I keep it on screen here, both these handgunners are going to start opening fire on the Marauder Horsemasters. And the Marauder Horsemasters, I don't know if everyone realizes it by now, but they should. They are very good light cav, and they are more than capable of meleeing charge handgunners to death. So instead, these guys are just going to exchange javelin fire as the handgunner is going to pour down enemy, bullets into their faces. Just loud, thunderous roar of bloops. Oh no, right, they don't get bloops because they're the enemy. So they're actually going to take a lot of damage here. So in this situation, if there's nothing really in the back line, just charge these guys. Hell, if they're just Marauder Horsemen, like the very basic, just charge them in, and you'll lose a lot less health than you would exchanging range fire with some handgunners. Meanwhile, over here, again, we have taken out the leadership. We are actually going to escort Karl Franz off the field, and we are going to now try and re-engage against these handgunners who have pulled back. So I'm going to get my Chaos Puppies, get our Chaos Sorcerer of Death. Prince Sigvald still up here dealing with some Halberds, with some Forsaken. Get these guys around as well. Our Chaos Halberd is going to be holding these great swords in place for quite a while, as our Forsaken try and deal with these swordsmen and great swords. And over here you can see the damage that these guys, especially since they're stacked up on top of each other, and these, actually, I guess they didn't get shot up by these guys, just these. But see all the damage there? That could have been negated if they just charged and didn't, throw their javelins. So now the Dimmigraph Knights over on my allies' side are finally going to get into the combat, and they're going to pile around Kolek, and that's when their Karl Franz is going to charge down as well. As we are so concerned about the Jade Wizard over here trying to stop our soldiers, we're just going to be like, nope, and try and get into there. We already have Forsaken who broke through the swordsman, and now we are in there with the Chaos Sorcerer. Prince Sigvald is going to be coming up here. Poor Prince Sigvald, he has no mobility. And honestly, let me tell you the reason I even brought him. I wanted to bring a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Death. But the thing is, enemies would like to target, like I didn't know if they bring Illuminarch, cannons, anything that can snipe heroes or lords. And most of the time, people will try and focus on your Lord before they focus on your casters. And honestly, I want this guy to live. I don't care about Sigvald. He is just a very cheap and tanky leader that can take a while to bring down just because of his stats and the way that he can regenerate. So I only brought this guy as a distraction. Honestly, I want this dude to live. And I decided to make him kind of safer from being focused down by adding Prince Sigvald as the hero instead of making him the hero. Or Lord, I should say. Because again, Prince Sigvald, I'm just going to tell you, he's not doing much in this fight. He has no mobility, he's slow as hell. It's all really my Chaos Sorcerer is leading the charge literally on his horse and casting Fate of Unas and Spirit Leeches. Meanwhile, over here, Kolek has been focused down by the Handgunners and Karl Franz and the Dimmigraph Knights, but the Giant and the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and Kolek have dealt a significant amount of damage to the double Dimmigraph Knights, along with the assistance of the Chaos Puppies, who got a lot of free hits on them as they were just trying to run through the Chaos Puppies. And now the Chaos Puppies are going to try and get into the front line. Kolek is going to die here. I am now already starting to detach some of my forces to try and assist my ally, because I kind of have my side wrapped up here. These Dimmigraph Knights are going to rout multiple times. Or I'm sorry, the Reichsguard, not the Dimmigraph Knights. They're going to come up, then they're going to rout, then they're going to come up, then they're going to rout. I'm like, make up your mind. And we're just finishing up their infantry, the great swords over here, and then we're going to just detach and start moving across the field like bloop, 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 bloop. Chaos Marauders here, or Marauder Horse Masters getting focused now by double handgunners. And again, they're good like Cav. They're more than capable of taking out handgunners, so just be mindful of that. Karl Franz also took a lot of damage from the engagement here, but they did manage to kill Kolek. But the thing is, their damage-dealing units over here are now going to be wiped out by the Shaggoth and the Giant, along with the assistance of the Chaos Warriors. So I think the Shaggoth should be going into the handgunners, but instead he's going against the greatswords. The Chaos Warriors here can hold against greatswords for a long time, as they have been already. So you should really silence the handgunners. Those are your these are the more important targets than the greatswords at this point. But again, I'm trying to get what I can over here. We got the Chaos Puppies going to go, and then the Forsaken are going like monstrous bloops up the hill. As poor Prince Sigvald is in the very back, and he's not even going to make it over here by the time this battle's over, because we only got 28 seconds left. So even without the leadership of Kolek, the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and the Giant are going to lead the Chaos Forces on this side to victory, and they are not going to have any of my influence, because by the time we are about to get in there, the enemy army is going to shatter. So I tried to assist my ally here, but they already beat my enemy. And they're going to start routing off the field, and there we go. Double Chaos versus double Empire, and Chaos wins. Although Empire is definitely the better faction, but I mean, even though certain factions may be stronger, it's still all about the army builds and the skill level of the players. So we were able to outmaneuver a little bit, isolate those Royal Alto Griffites, so they only got 15 kills, and those were mostly against my puppies than anything else. And before we managed to wipe them out of the field, so yeah. Prince Sigvald managed to get 29 kills against Halberdiers and maybe a couple Reichsguard. He didn't do much. Again, he was, honestly, he was like a body double, kind of, like, oh, this is the guy you want to kill. Go snipe this guy. Don't worry about my Chaos Sorcerer, who is going to cast Fate of Unas and Spirit Leeches. Forsaken, they always do really well against Empire infantry as long as they can make it to the front lines. These guys are only there, if you notice in my deployment, they were actually in front of my army, because they were there to take the auto fire at will shots from the handgunners on our approach. That was initially what I made them for. That's why I brought a shielded infantry, so they can just take the salvo, forsake, and then charge, and they don't have to worry about getting shot up. So these guys are just sacrificial lambs, and they still managed to do some damage. Chaos Knights did some damage. I'm really happy with all my army here. For 0 here, tons of kills on Kolek and their double aspiring champions. So Chaos Knight did really well. The Marauders did mostly really well at doing some damage to the enemy Demigryph Knights, but then they got shut up by the handgunners. And again, just charge them in there. Trust me, they will do just fine against handgunners. Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and the Chaos Giant also did amazing. For Hellcat, their front line is really pretty squishy, especially when they're fighting against this front line. Like, this front line is just better. The handgunners did do a lot of good focusing fire. They did take out the Marauder Horsemasters. The Demigryph Knights did get some damage, I think, on the Horsemasters and some Chaos Warriors, and obviously helped bring down Kolek too, which is a big deal. But they also there wasn't enough. They couldn't bring down the other Giant and Shaggoth, so too many monstrous creatures for these enemies to handle. So good game again to Zero, Razmok, and Hellcat. Hope you enjoyed our army being led by a person who honestly didn't contribute nearly anything, and I will, sorry, let's go watch a cinematic view.
Come from behind!
You gotta watch out for them Chaos Puppies, man. They may not be able to 1v1 a Griff fight, but they can keep them in place and allow the other units who can to get closer. All I needed them to do was hold long enough, and they do. For Big Daddy Shaggoth to come over and be like, bro, blue bitch, mother. Blue! He yells blue on every attack. These Innos Reichsguard really wanted to charge these Forsaken, but we really interrupted their charge a lot because they couldn't pull through these Chaos Knights.
We want their eyes!
They have a lot of armor. That's a lot of Forsaken. Forsaken have high damage. They do look pretty cool, the Sinner's Reichsguard. I don't see them like up close often.
Faster! Stand for chaos! Faster!
These guys are not going to fare well against greatswords. That's okay. Because these Forsaken are just chewing through these swordsmen.
Keep your heads down, men! They're casting spells!
Our poor puppies. No! Silence those guns! Run them down!
Destroy! Moving!
And then Kolek, man. Poor Kolek. Got surrounded. That giant is pissed. Goodbye, Kolek. Really should probably silence these guns though. These great swords will be fine. Like, don't need to worry about them. There we go. Again, hope you enjoyed, everybody. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.